Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Comedy this hour, George Burns and Gracie Allen, in an episode from March 31st, 1949, and this is how Jack Benny became cheap. I don't know if this is fact or fiction, but let's pretend it's fact.
Another cup of Maxwell House coffee, George?
Sure, pour me a cup, Gracie. If it's free, I'll have a cup, too.
You know, Maxwell House is always good to the last drop.
That drop's good, too. Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With our special guest, Jack Benny, yours truly, Toby Reed, Joseph Kearns, Harry Lubin of the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie. And for America's everyday coffee-drinking enjoyment, it's Maxwell House. Always good to the last drop.
Well, today we find the Burnses sitting in a booth in the Brown Derby restaurant. It seems their old friend, Jack Benny, has invited them to lunch, and they're waiting for him to arrive.
Gracie, I wish you hadn't told me, Jack. Wish you hadn't arranged for us to have lunch with Jack. It's always so embarrassing.
What do you mean?
Well, those lousy tips he leaves. He's been eating here 5 years, and he's yet to tip more than $1.
Well, $1 isn't a bad tip.
That's for the 5 years. Besides, if we're his guests, he'll make us order crackers and milk. The cheapest thing on the menu.
Well, Judge, I wish you wouldn't talk that way about Jack. He's always been awfully nice to me. Did you see the birthday present he sent me?
Why, no.
Well, it's a coupon which entitles me to a year's subscription to Harper's Bazaar.
From Jack?
Mm-hmm. All I have to do is fill it out and send it in with $7.
Harper's Bazaar is $6.
Well, Jack gets $1 commission.
Jack Benny hasn't put his hand in his pocket. January will be 80 years.
What can be keeping him? Doesn't he know what time it is?
No, he's too tight to buy a watch. Tells time by the sun.
Oh, George, tells time by the sun.
I'm not kidding you. Shh, here he comes. Oh, hello, George. Hello, Gracie.
Oh, hello,
Hi,
Jack.
I'm sorry I'm late, kids. These cloudy days throw me. What did I tell you? Oh, waiter, we're ready to order. Yes, sir. Would Madame like to start with a cocktail?
Oh, no, thanks. I never drink.
I meant a shrimp cocktail.
No matter how small it is, I never drink.
Mrs. Burns will have a steak, and I'll have a broiled lobster. Steak and broiled lobster? Well, they're both very good here, but as long as you're in the Brown Derby, you really should order the specialty of the house. You see, crackers and milk.
Oh, I've changed my mind. I won't have a steak.
Good.
I'll have lamb chops.
But the crackers are very crisp here. They put the crumbs in a sack so you can take them home.
I think I'll have lamb chops.
Madame will enjoy the lamb chops. We serve them with little paper panties on.
Well, don't your legs get cold?
Grace, that's our order, waiter. How about you, Jack? I'll have crackers and milk. That was a delicious meal, Gracie. Where did Jack go?
Oh, well, the waiter refused to give him any more crackers, so he went to complain to the manager.
My gosh. He talked him out of extra milk.
Yeah, wasn't that clever? He kept handing his glass of milk to the waiter and saying, put a head on this.
And mark my words, we'll get stuck with the check as usual.
Well, George, that's your own fault. When the check comes, Jack always says, here, I'll take it. But then you always speak up and say, no, Jack, I'll get it. So he lets you get it.
That's right. He knows I'll say that.
Well, sure.
Well, today when he says, here, I'll take it, I'll just keep my big mouth shut.
How do you like this place? They refuse to give me extra crackers. Just wait till they ask me to put more bluing in their tablecloths. I'll show them, you know. Excuse me, gentlemen. Here's your check. That'll be $10.30. Here, I'll take it. Well, somebody say something. That will be $10.30. You shut up. Look, George, if you want the check, I won't fight you.
I don't want the check.
In that case, we'll fight.
Jack, you're the stingiest man who ever lived.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's so.
Well, don't act so proud. You're not the first one who ever said that.
Now, please, don't get into a fight. There's no point to it.
No point to it?
You're the only two men in the world who couldn't hurt each other.
Well, I'm not paying this check. After all, Jack, you invited us to lunch.
Sure, I make a nice gesture. This is the thanks I get.
Oh, George, let's not make a scene. Go ahead and pay the check.
All right, but I just want to say this. Jack, if you let me pay this check, you're a low, miserable, tight-fisted, conniving miser. You're a disgrace to our profession, and I'll never speak to you again as long as I live. Well.
Now, Mr. Burns, if you've finished, I have a few words to say.
What are they?
Here's the check.
All right, George, we're home now. Calm down and forget about Jack Benny.
I can't forget about it. How a man can go through life letting someone else pay his way, I'll never know.
Well, now, don't let it make you so nervous. My goodness. When you paid that check, you were so upset you could hardly get my purse open.
You know, Gracie, Jack didn't used to be this way. When we were in vaudeville with him, he was an altogether different fellow.
Say, now that you mention it, he was. Well, people used to call him Generous Jack the Plunger.
Yes, in those days, he spent money like water.
I wonder what slowed him down to such a drift.
I don't know. Maybe it was the disappointment of you marrying me instead of him. He was pretty sweet on you in those days.
Well, I liked him, too. You know, Jack was awfully good looking.
Yeah.
Of course, that was a long time ago.
Now he has to use makeup. Tell me something, Gracie. Jack Benny was a big star, young, good-looking, talented, loaded with money, and a big spender. And I was just a struggling young song and dance man. Why did you marry me instead of Jack?
Oh, George, you don't have to ask that, do you?
Oh, I guess I don't.
Well, good, because I haven't got an answer.
Oh, fine.
You know, I can't get over the change in Jack. When he was courting me, he was the most generous man in the world.
He certainly was.
Remember the night you both proposed to me?
Sure. We got into an argument, and I hit Jack over the head with his violin.
See? I'll never forget that night. That was 16 years ago, but it seems like yesterday. I remember Jack arrived at my house first. He brought along his violin to serenade me, and when I went to the
Hi, Gracie.
Why, Generous Jack.
That's me, baby. Here's a couple of dozen orchids for you.
Oh, Jack, they're so expensive.
What do I care? I always say money is made to be spent. I mean, you can't take it with you. Hey, Hey, Gracie, let's go out tonight and have a big champagne party. I've had a dozen cases of the most expensive champagne flown in from France.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. I don't drink.
But, Gracie, Mum's extra dry.
Well, then let her drink it. Besides, we don't want to be gone when George Burns gets here.
George Burns?
Mm-hmm.
Will he be here tonight?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was playing Altoona.
Well, he was, but he got into an argument with the manager. He said he'd never play that theater again as long as he lived.
What'd the manager say?
That was the manager talking.
Oh, well, Gracie, I hoped we'd be alone tonight. There's a question I plan to. I'll tell you what. Let's go for a ride in my new car.
You bought another new car? What happened to your stuffed bear cat?
The man in the filling station admired it, so I gave it.
Jack, what kind of a car did you buy this time?
A Maxwell. But I probably won't keep it long either.
Well, Jack, I can't be gone when George gets here. He's in love with me.
Yeah, so am I, Gracie. Will you marry me?
Oh, Jack, get up off your knees. You'll ruin your new suit.
So what? I'll throw it away. It's old anyway. I've had it since yesterday. Now, Gracie, look,
Oh, that must be George. Come in.
Hello, Gracie. Jack Benny, what are you doing down on your knees? I'm proposing to Gracie. But, Gracie, I want you to marry me. You? How could you support her? Who's planning to? Look, Gracie, don't marry this broken-down vaudeville hoofer.
Well, I think George is a very good dancer. You ought to see him do that adagio dance with his girl partner. It isn't easy to throw a person 10 feet in the air and then catch them.
You said it.
But that girl hasn't dropped George once.
But, Gracie, what future has George got dancing in vaudeville? Vaudeville is dead. It's been killed.
Is that true, George?
Well, you don't expect him to confess, do you? Well, me, look at I'm a violinist. I can go in that new business called radio. Yeah? Well, listen to this. I love you, I do. You're the only girl that I adore.
Oh, Jack. When George sings, doesn't it just send you?
Yeah, but not far enough. Now, if you want to hear some real music, listen to this. You know, this is called The Flight of the Bumblebee. I've been told I play it very realistically.
Oh, you do, Jack. When you play, it actually sings.
You did say sing. S-T-I-N-K. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. Well, here's my violin. Let's see what you can do with it. Okay. Here's what I can do with it. Oh.
Oh, George, you knocked him unconscious with his violin. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. You might have broken a string.
I'll teach him to try to steal my girl. Oh.
Oh, look, he's coming too.
What happened? Where am I?
You're at my house, Jack.
Who are you?
I'm your girl, Gracie Allen. You brought me these orchids, remember?
I bought all those orchids?
Yes.
I must be nuts. They cost a fortune.
With your generous Jack the plunger.
Plunger, schmunger. Money doesn't grow on trees.
But, Jack, you always say you can't take it with you.
Sister, if I can't take it with me, I'll find a way to send it. And you'll get a bill for these orchids tomorrow. Good night. It all comes back to me now, Gracie. From that night on, Jack Benny was a tightwad.
Yeah, it was that blow in the head that did it. George, do you realize what this means? It's our fault that Jack is stingy.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Well, then it's up to us to change him back. Yeah, I've got it. Hit him over the head with his violin again.
Yeah, that might do it. But I can't do that again.
Why not?
Well, we were young guys then. I can't hit a man with gray hair.
We'll take it off.
March 31st, 1949, George Burns and Gracie Allen on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of George Burns and Gracie Allen, March 31st, 1949.
Gracie, I had a talk with Dr. Miller, the psychiatrist. He says the blow on the head might turn Jack Benny into Generous Jack the Plunger.
Oh, wonderful.
But he says we'll have to create the same situation we were in 16 years ago.
Oh, but George, he was proposing to me when you hit him. He can't do that now. I'm married to you.
Well, you'll have to pretend that we've split up and that you're single again. You get Jack to give you a date.
Oh, well, maybe he won't do it. I'm not as young and pretty as I used to be.
Oh, Gracie.
Uh-huh.
Gracie, you haven't changed since the day I married you. You're young, lovely, sweet, desirable.
Oh, thank you, George. You haven't changed either.
I haven't?
No, you felt the same way about me then.
Yeah, well, run along and see Jack.
Yes? Oh, hello, Gracie.
Hello, Jack.
I suppose you came over to apologize for George's behavior at lunch yesterday.
Well, no. Why should I care what my ex-husband does?
Ex-husband?
Oh, didn't you know? It was in all the columns.
Well, I haven't been getting the paper lately. The Colemans have it brought right into their house now. So you and George have called it off, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm single again. I'd even have a date if a very attractive man asked me.
I'd love to ask you, of course. I'm not as attractive as I used to be. Huh?
Oh, yes, you are, Jack.
Oh, go on. I'm much older than I was then.
Oh, no, you're not. You're still 39. How come you've never married, Jack?
Oh, I guess I've been waiting for you, Gracie. Is there still a chance for me?
Well, maybe. You used to say that the girl you married would have everything. Mink coat, Cadillac, diamonds, and all the money she could spend. Do you still feel that way?
Certainly. That's why I want to marry you. You've got all those things. Gee, Gracie, we were meant for each other. Now, how about it?
Oh, I don't know, Jack. You have to court me first.
Again?
Uh-huh. Call on me tonight and bring the orchid.
But I did all that.
That was 16 years ago.
Well, didn't you save them? You know, they keep forever in the icebox.
Well, as a matter of fact, I do have a lot of the things you gave me. I keep them pressed between the pages of the book. You brought me such nice flowers.
I used to bring you candy, too.
Yeah, I wish I could get that book open.
Well, I'll see you tonight, Gracie.
Yeah, well, it's a date, Jack. And be sure to bring your violin.
Okay. Shall we have an evening with Beethoven?
No, come by yourself. Oh, it worked, George. Jack Benny will come courting me tonight, just like he did 16 years ago.
That's great.
Now, we want to duplicate that night exactly, so you arrive after Jack has been here for a while.
Just a minute. I like the idea of leaving you alone with that old gray wolf. Might try to kiss you.
Oh, George, relax. He's bringing his violin.
So what?
So by the time he carries that over, you'll be all tired.
Well, okay. I'll go down to the drugstore. See you later.
Oh, kiss me goodbye.
Okay.
George, have you been carrying violins?
No, just the rosin. I'll see you.
Well, here I am, Gracie.
Oh, Jack, how nice to see you.
Gee, this is just like old times. Do you still like flowers?
Love them.
Well, here you are, baby. Here's enough flowers to fill this room.
Oh, how nice, a package of seeds.
I mean, after all, it's spring. You know, half the fun of flowers is watching them grow and seeing them raise their tiny green heads. Which reminds me, George won't be around tonight.
Oh, yes, Jack, he might drop by later.
Well, I better get down on my knees and propose to you right now before he gets here.
too late. I heard a door open.
That was your knee. Come in.
Hello, Gracie. Oh, Jack Benny. What are you doing down on your knees? Never mind. Just help me up.
Jack was about to propose to me, George.
Well, Gracie, I want you to marry me. You married her once. Give somebody else a chance.
Well, George, if you're proposing, get down on your knees like Jack.
Okay.
March 31st, 1949, George Burns and Gracie Allen on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these messages from your favorite radio station. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow launching the MyPillow 2.0. Now, when Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. Of course, the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, but now with brand new fabric with a temperature-regulating thread, it's the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer with my promo code Wyatt. MyPillow 2.0 is 100% made in the USA, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Use my promo code Wyatt or call 1-800-928-4715. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of George Burns and Gracie Allen, March 31st, 1949.
Oh, isn't this thrilling? Two fiery lovers bidding for my hand.
George, does this cold floor bother your rheumatism? It's murder. And I found some stuff that's awfully good. Really? What is it? I've tried everything. It's a new liniment. Works wonders. That's for me. My knees have been killing me. Isn't the rainy season just torture? Awful. I must get that liniment. I'll let you try some of mine.
Oh, some fiery lovers. We'll have to honeymoon at the Mayo Clinic. Boy, you're proposing to me, remember? Oh, come in.
Hi, Gracie. Where's the... George and Jack Benny down on their knees? What goes on here?
Well, can't you guess, Bill?
Somebody dropped a penny, huh?
Guess again, comedian. Bill, we happen to be proposing marriage.
Well, I hope you'll be very happy together.
Would you like to drop back in about 2 weeks?
Oh, not me. I want to stick around and see who asked who what and what the answer is.
Bill, look, Dimples. We're proposing marriage to Gracie. You see, George and Gracie aren't married anymore.
Gracie, is this true?
Well, yes, Bill. I'm single now, but George wants me to marry him again, and so did Jack Benny. I can't decide between them.
Can't decide between them? Gracie, this is your chance to marry one of the biggest stars in the country, a man with a great future in television.
Yes, I was good, you know.
Not only a great talent, but loaded with personality, charm, good looks.
Blue eyes, don't be a fellow.
Gracie, you lucky girl. This is your chance to marry me.
You? Scrambler, you're lousing up everything. Pay no attention to him, Gracie. I'm asking you to be the mother of my children.
How many have you got?
None yet, but in a couple of years or so, I'm sure we'll hear the patter of little feet.
Well, marry me, Gracie, and we'll hear the patter of little feet tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Sure, you'll be running back and forth to the kitchen bringing me Maxwell House coffee. Think how happy we'll be, Gracie, with rich, delicious, mellow Maxwell House coffee from morning till night.
Well, if you're going to get commercial about this, you can marry me and feel her level best.
Oh, you serve Maxwell House coffee too, huh? Isn't it great, Jack? You know, Maxwell House is a blend of choice Latin American coffees, radiant roasted to the peak of flavor perfection.
Bill, I meant that if Gracie married me, we'd have plenty of lucky.
Lucky? Yes. What do I work for? Darned if I know. You got all the money in the world. Gee whiz, you can buy Maxwell House by the carload. And Maxwell House is America's favorite coffee. Always good to the last drop. How about it, Gracie? Will you marry me?
Well, I'm sorry, Bill, but it's between George and Jack. But don't feel bad. Whichever one I choose, you'll be the best man at the wedding.
Well, obviously. So long. How about it, Gracie? How about it? Will you marry me?
No, she's going to marry me.
But, Gracie, George has no future. I mean, radio's passé. I'll be a sensation in that new business, television.
Well, so will George. In fact, I've heard lots of people say the television would collapse without him.
They said it would collapse without George?
That's right. They said that George single-handed is holding up television.
I wonder how they meant that.
Look, I know how to settle this, Gracie. I'll serenade. George, hand me my Stradivarius. This violin is a Stradivarius? Certainly. I got it from Sam Stradivarius, the pawnbroker.
Oh, Sam.
Now, let me have it.
Well, you heard him, George. Let him have it.
I'll be glad to.
Oh.
Well, it happened just like it did 16 years ago.
Better. This time I hit him before he played. What happened? Where am I?
Well, you're at my house.
Who are you?
Well, I'm your girl, Gracie Allen. You brought me these seats, remember?
I brought you a package of seeds? What a cheap thing to do. I'll call the florist and have him bring you $100 worth of orchids. Gosh. And a potted plant for your father here.
George Burns.
Oh. Well, let's all go to Ciro's and have a champagne dinner on me. Mum's extra dry.
Hasn't that poor old lady had a drink yet?
Gee, what's happened to me? I'm spending money like crazy and I can't stop.
That's right. You're Generous Jack again.
Again? You mean I've been this way before?
Well, sure, you used to be Generous Jack the Plunger. Then George hit you over the head with your violin and you stopped spending money.
Getting hit over the head with my violin made me stop spending money?
That's right.
Jack, put down that violin.
Jack,
Jack,
stop hitting yourself over the head. Jack,
March 31st, 1949, George Burns, Gracie Allen, and Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Let's check in on Claudia and David, an episode of the soap opera Claudia, sponsored by Coke, broadcast March 31st, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you, transcribed Monday through Friday, by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Dum 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 da la 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 la.
Stay tuned to your local station.
Well, that's enough news for tonight.
Listen again.
I don't like hearing news. Nobody ever has anything nice to say.
Boom, doo-doo-doo-doo.
What time is it?
Doo-doo-doo-doo. Didn't you hear the announcer?
Oh, I just got in on the end, on the o'clock part. Did he say 8 or 9?
Listen in an hour from now and you'll find out.
Oh, come on, tell me now.
What'll you give me for it?
How's this? Want another?
Save it for next time you ask me what time it is.
All right.
Right now, it is 8 o'clock.
Is that all?
You sound disappointed.
I am. It's much too early to go to bed. Besides which, I'm not sleepy.
2 good reasons. Hand me that book, would you, darling?
Don't you ever get tired of architecture?
Give me another 50 years.
Oh, and your pipe. Don't you want your pipe? Or are you tired of that, too?
I'm not tired of anything. As a matter of fact, I feel remarkably spry, considering.
Considering what?
Just considering.
Now, let me see. What can I do for an hour? In an hour we can go to bed, can't we, David?
Still be very early.
I know.
Maybe we ought to go out tonight.
What for?
Go out. Don't you like to go out?
Yes, but I like staying home, too.
That's the time to go out. There'll be plenty of time, darling, when we're on the farm to spend evenings at home. There'll be nothing else to do but go to bed early.
That'll be nice. Except on the farm we'll have to get up earlier, too.
Early to bed and early to rise.
Makes a contented cow.
These cows are really on your mind, aren't they?
Thanks for the compliment.
Nope, my mind's made up. We shall go out tonight.
Where to, David?
Well, where does a person go when he goes out?
Well, this person doesn't go out much because this person is married to a person who doesn't go out much either. So this person doesn't know.
Well, most persons go to nightclubs when they go out.
Nightclubs?
You say that as if it's the first time you pronounce the word.
Nonsense. It's just that it's the first time you've said nightclubs seriously.
Well, I think we ought to go out to one. Maybe our last chance for a while.
You mean because of the baby coming?
I mean because of the great migration of the Naughtons to Connecticut.
You make it sound as if we're going to travel in a covered wagon.
Oh, that reminds me. If we don't get a hold of a moving van pretty soon, we probably will.
You really want to?
What, travel in a covered wagon?
No, silly. Go to a nightclub.
Yes, I think I really do.
My jaw has just dropped.
Well, pick it up and tell me what you think of the idea.
I'm thinking.
My suggesting this tonight, darling, has two purposes.
I suspected as much.
I'm just using a little psychology.
Sure you want to tell me what it is? I mean, maybe psychology doesn't work as well when you know it's being done to you.
This psychology is just as much for me as it is for you. It's a known fact about human nature that when a person can't have something, that's when a person wants it most.
You know, we're certainly talking about an awful lot about persons tonight. David, are we that kind of a person?
You most certainly are.
I thought you said this psychology's for you, too.
Well, it affects me. I know just as sure as anything that the minute you get up in the country and tie that sunbonnet on your head, you'll have the most terrific yen to go to a nightclub.
Look, darling, just because you feel like you feel tonight, you don't have to blame it on psychology and me.
Oh, you think you're very smart, don't you?
Very smart.
Well, you are.
Just wait till Mama hears that.
I don't think I'd mind recapturing my youth for one evening. You didn't know that I was a very gay young blade in my day, did you?
You were? How about, were you a sharp blade, too?
Oh, two-edged.
Well, I've just met one edge of you so far, the edge that's to stay at home. I like it.
Oh, just wait. Wait until you have a slice at the other edge.
I like bacon with my edge.
Ooh. And Mrs. Naughton, I'll have you know that I'm not accustomed to coaxing the young ladies to go out with me. When David Casanova Naughton extends an invitation...
Claudia Cleopatra Naughton accepts it.
My arm, madame.
My hand, my lord.
That settles it, Cleo. We're off to a nightclub.
Right, Cassie, but which one?
Aye, that's the rub. To go or not to go.
We have decided to go.
Aye, that's not the rub.
No, it isn't.
But to which? Zounds, to which? Whether it be the nightclub on East 54th Street, or whether it be Bristol on West 57th. 'Tis blood that is heavy on me mind. I like that,
which
me
is more
mind.
crowded? You ham without the let.
Now you prefer ham with your edge.
But seriously, David, listen. Aren't the bistros and the nightclubs and the pubs and the cafes just going to be jammed tonight?
Madame, they will be packed, stifling, crowded beyond belief. There will be room for you to set foot no place but on your most ardent suitor's ear.
Ear! It sounds exciting.
Twill be.
I didn't know you liked dancing on a postage stamp.
I wrote a letter today to my congressman.
Oh, congratulations.
Darling, we'll have to make up our minds where we go before we start out now.
You are so right. And that is the gentleman's responsibility.
Alas.
Which nightclub is your favorite?
Apartment 12C.
Mine, too. But we're going out, remember?
Of course I remember. I'm going to look at this list of nightclubs in the newspaper just to refresh my memory, of course.
Of course.
Now, let me see. Let me
see, too. There's one that sounds nice, the Oasis.
I'm not thirsty. How about this one, the Zombie?
I don't think I feel like a zombie tonight.
You don't look like one either.
I don't. Thank you very much. Hey, David, here's a place that sounds wonderful. Look what it says.
What does it say? The Village Voodoo.
Ooh.
Featuring the exotic singer Dolores O'Brien.
I think the Dolores is the exotic part.
And the O'Brien is the singer.
Yes. Oh, David, why do I have to be born with a name like Claudia? Why couldn't I have been a Dolores or a Sonia or a Lucia?
Because you're just a Claudia.
Is that good?
Good enough for me.
Still, I wish there were a little of Dolores in me.
Well, what about it? You want to go to the Village Voodoo, Dolores?
I would you?
You're playing the wrong part, darling.
What do you mean?
You're not the comedian, you're the audience.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just trying to get my money's worth.
How did you ever get to be such a bargain hunter?
I wonder. I
think
know.
you were born in a basement.
Well, you better ask Mama. I don't remember. You were alive then, don't you remember?
Come to remember, I do. That was the day the skies grew black at noon. The sun shone at midnight. The earth rocked and shivered, and the mountains howled.
Was the weather bad, too?
You are never satisfied. Now, come on. We got to decide where we're going. It's getting late.
How about this place?
The Harlequin, huh?
It's a nice name for a nightclub, don't you think?
Featuring Tommy Tombstone.
Tommy Tombstone? Who's he?
Don't. Oh, Claudia, don't tell me that you never heard of Tommy Tombstone.
Never?
Tommy Tombstone with the velvet larynx.
Oh, him. The singer who wears the polka dot tie.
That's he.
And the beret?
That is the one.
And who's so thin you can practically see through him?
You hit him on the nose. Say, when did you last see Tommy Tombstone?
Never.
Never?
Well, everybody knows all about him. Even me.
Aye.
You too?
Oh, no, Claudia, not that again.
Oh, you don't want to hear him again?
Again, I never have.
Well, then why'd you just say...
I didn't say anything. Let's forget the whole thing.
Tommy Tombstone, too? He's all the rage, you know.
Of course, I know. You want to go hear him?
Well... No, I don't want to swoon.
The ladies love him.
This lady's busy loving someone else, thank you.
Do you think you could love a man who sings like this? My dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair.
I do love a man who sings like that.
Brown hair. Then we better not go to the Harlequin.
You're right. One man who sings like that is enough for any family.
I tell you what, I know just the place.
Where?
The Hacienda.
The Hacienda. That sounds as if you know how to rumba.
Well, who said I didn't know? When I was a child, my mother couldn't get me to stop doing the rumba.
Doing the rumba. Listen, there must be a better way of saying that. Is it rumbering?
Darling, the best way to say it is to do it. Now, come on. Leave us rumba into the bedroom and change into our evening clothes.
You mean we're going to get all dressed up?
Of course.
In white ties?
And a few other things.
I didn't know you still had to get dressed up to go to a nightclub.
Well, it helps.
Who?
Well, it might help us get a table.
Wouldn't it help more if we called up and made a reservation?
That's against my principles.
Oh, principles. I don't see what principles have to do with a table. You'll never get a table by just walking in and saying you want one.
Then we'll bring one along with us.
The square one that folds its legs up underneath itself like an Indian?
Yes, the squaw table. And if you get yourself very dressed up, looking stunning, really stunning, we'll make such an impression on the head waiter that he'll be sure to give us a table.
So that's it.
That's it.
David, do you suppose the head waiter gets all dressed up just so he makes an impression on us?
I can't think of a better reason.
This is getting exciting. I'm getting so I even like the idea of going out. And I don't care how crowded the place is, or whether we ever get a table, or if the head waiter snubs us. We're going to have a wonderful time.
Hey, you sound as if you were trying to convince yourself.
Do I? Well, I don't see why I should. I'm all convinced. I know just what I'm going to do. Now, let me see. What have I got to wear? Let me see.
Every time you open that closet, you act as if you were reading a menu.
Now, here's just the thing.
One crepe de chine on toast.
It's got a nice low back, lace on the front, and it reaches all the way down to the floor.
Sounds lovely. Have I seen you in it?
Oh, loads of times.
What color is it?
Pink, and it's satin.
Satin? I like satin. It's very dressy.
David, how does this look on me?
Darling, that is a nightgown.
Is it? Well, what do you know?
But it's very becoming.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Good, then I'll wear it.
Very good idea, darling. And here's what I'll wear.
The striped ones. I always like you best in the striped ones. You think we'll make an impression on the head waiter in these?
We'll make an impression, all right.
I know. Oh, darling, your psychology was marvelous. I'm not going to feel like going to a nightclub for ages. And coming home so late, I'm so sleepy I could go right to bed.
I'm sleepy, too. I guess he was doing all that rumba in a smoke-filled room.
I guess so. And wasn't it packed?
I couldn't even find that postage
Neither
stamp.
could I. David, thanks. I've had a wonderful evening. Dum, 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 dum.
Just suppose you had a job outside instead of at home. In all likelihood, there'd be a Coca-Cola cooler right where you worked. And you'd use it, too, as millions of working folks do. Well, the fact is, you work just as hard, chances are, even harder than people do in offices and factories. So why not give yourself the benefit of the pause that refreshes? See that there's always Coke on ice, so that you can open a bottle when you feel like it during your household working hours and work refreshed.
Hey, sorry to disturb you, Joe, but are you and your wife great night clubbers?
Well, I think we feel just about the same way about him as you and Claudia, David.
No matter how much we try, we just never seem to get there, do we?
Well, maybe you don't want to try hard enough.
Maybe. I guess the joke is on us. Say, that reminds me. Tomorrow's the 1st of April, isn't it?
That's right. April Fool's Day.
It gives me an idea. I'll have to think up something. What could I do to play a joke on Claudia, Joe?
Well, that is something to think about.
Do me a favor, Joe. Don't remind Claudia that tomorrow is the 1st of April,
I'll bet you she remembers all by herself.
As Claudia would say, I'll bet you 20 cents. Well, I better put on my thinking about it. Goodbye, Joe.
Goodbye, David. And as I was saying, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For ice-cold Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. Claudia has come to most of you now for the past 6 months. We'd welcome any suggestion or anything you may wish to say about the show. Write to Claudia, Post Office Box 173, Church Street Station, New York 8, New York. Now, let me repeat the address. Post Office Box number 173, Church Street Station, New York 8, New York.
And from March 31st, 1948, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Would you thank this station and support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Now, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. Stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me, find our social media links, and if you're so inclined, you can buy me a coffee. That buy me a coffee money allows us to acquire additional classic radio collections and maintain our distribution channels. That's at classicradio.stream. And please tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.